Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a good end of the work week. You know what I mean? And tonight I want to talk about that Goldberg vibe. So, I grew up a fan of wrestling. Yes, I'm a good old American poster boy for things I've done in my life, all of which I've been very grateful for, and I've lived a really, really good life, as it would be. So, as a kid, one of my eras was wrestling. And yes, I got into it. I really was a wrestling fanatic. I feel like I already did said this, but if I haven't before I get too much into nothing, thanks again for all the new subs and viewers. I really appreciate it. To all my local friends here in Albuquerque, New Mexico that support what I do, it just, it means a lot to me, and it doesn't take a lot of y'all's time to do, to take like watch a few of my videos and subscribe and all those other things, and you guys do more than that. You sort of become like fans, like mega. It's really cool, and I really appreciate it, and I couldn't do it without you guys. So I see the local community sort of continuing to support me, and I think it's great. So I really appreciate it. I just thought that would be a good part of getting into the video. Now, like it or not, wrestling was a very popular, and still is a very popular sport, an entertaining sport to watch as a spectator. There's nothing more exciting than being 12 years old and rooting for your favorite hero or anti hero or straight up bad guy, or bad woman or anthropomorphic character or luchador. I mean, there are so many different variations of how the personifications of wrestlers and their characterizations go that it's no wonder it's a multi-billion-dollar business, has been around for nearly 5 decades now, and was just most recently sold by the founder of the company to another company that is currently sort of on that same vibe as wrestling was 20 years ago, the UFC. And so I watched a documentary on Goldberg, Bill Goldberg, and I I was more of a Goldberg fan than I was a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. And Goldberg was the reason that I started watching WCW instead of WWF, because back in the day it was Monday Nitro or Monday Night Raw, and that was it, and you'd switch between the two just to catch the different better matches of the different companies. And I really liked that. I liked growing up in an era of which there was two major competitors. Sort of, it's good. I believe in competition. I don't like it when there's nothing to compete with. It makes things super boring, and it only allows for some other group, person, or entity to sort of tell you how you should feel about their rules and policies, And so I don't like the WWE as a consolidated company. It's not at all what fans would have ever expected, one, and it's something fans I don't think ever wanted. Like, if we still lived in a world where there were two companies, WCW and WWF, then I think that wrestling still might actually even be more popular than it is, and may have not lost as many fans to UFC and ECW, and ECW is not even around. There are many other organizations that go around the country and perform wrestling, and there's a bunch of local places too, but it was the heyday of wrestling when there were two companies and they were head to head. And again, I grew up with that. So watching Goldberg, in his run of ultimately winning the WCW title belt against Hollywood Hulk Hogan, like, I mean, come on. Like, this is some of Eric Bischoff Dude, you told some good stories, man. It was the whole New World Order. I mean, it was a really a good time to be young and to be a part of something that was so popular even before the internet. Wrestling it was a very unique time in that we all really didn't quite understand how it got to be so popular. But there was a time in my life where my walls were adorned with different wrestlers. Stone Cold, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, NWO, Sting, Degeneration X. I was a fan. I was legit a fan, and I didn't really ever like Hulk Hogan, but I was a fan of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Um, I think the documentary on Goldberg is prime. Like, it talks about a lot of the cool stuff that happened within his career, and it talks about where he comes from. I didn't know that he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. To think of Bill Goldberg growing up in Tulsa, Oklahoma is just, I mean, it's not a terribly far distance from New Mexico, and it's cool because, I mean, Tulsa's a small place. Not a lot happens there, relatively speaking, other than one of the greatest wrestlers in the entire world. Who's next? That's all I'm saying. Like, I was watching the documentary and I was getting pumped up. I wanted to, like, wrestle. It was just, and only Goldberg can bring this kind of intensity to what otherwise would be kind of just a boring thing to watch. But the spear and the jackhammer and the backstory and playing 5 years in the NFL and I just it's dope. Like, his whole story was dope, and I didn't even know that he had come back twice to wrestle in like 2016 and 2017, and then he ultimately retired with the belt. I didn't know that. So that was kind of cool to see, and I always used to buy wrestling figures. Oh man, posters, T-shirts, WWF CDs. I mean, I was listening to like the themes, intro songs of wrestlers as I was playing basketball for days on end. I have some really good memories with wrestling and just watching it. So, if you haven't like already and when you watch the videos and stuff, I try to update them with the actual links in the description because sometimes I forget, but it is real interesting when I do ask y'all to check out the links in the description because sometimes it's some real interesting stuff. And if you like what we talk about on the channel, which is nothing, then you're definitely going to like some of the things that I watch because it's what inspires me to talk about nothing. And so I hope that you guys have a great night, and I will talk to everyone soon. Bye.